Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, the audience discretion is advised.
Doesn't matter what you can think of.
Oh, God, they're here.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, as long as you're 21 or older,
Michael Hill.
Jason Holder proudly present to you
The Whiskey and Wrestling Podcast.
And if you're not done with that, go listen to something else.
You do that better than we do.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I watched I literally watched the sound waves. I go on Winamp and I put the visualizer on and I just stare at it as you guys talk about wrestling.
I like how he's got all those colored buttons memorized now.
Yes, on this sheet. I still have what is
Four
this?
more sheets of buttons.
What's this one?
I've discovered the power of the breeding
Oh, I knew exactly what
Yeah,
that one
you
was.
knew what that
yeah, I know
was.
exactly what that was. Absolutely.
Yuppies.
All right, there we go.
So I hear y'all have been calling yourselves Whiskey and Wrestling Wolfpack.
Yeah.
Is it because you've also been listening to our podcast?
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
thank God. It would have been very awkward as if you'd only heard it through the grapevine. Right. So that's good. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special rest stop where we're going to be talking about WrestleMania 40, the greatest WrestleMania of all time for this moment.
Currently one of the greatest WrestleManias of all time.
I think
XL.
I think currently and going forward, one of the best WrestleManias of all time. Let's give it 5 years and let's see where we are 5 years from now as far as that goes.
It definitely gets put up there in the top 5 or 6 or so right now. Is it the best one? No. There were matches that belonged on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Right.
This could have been a one-night WrestleMania because there were several matches that just didn't fit the Ray and Andrade versus Dom.
I disagree. As far as what once it got to the match,
the match was great. It did not need to be on Mania because this feud hasn't really been anything.
Well, it didn't exist 2 weeks ago, except for
I think that's Holder's
except
point.
for the Escobar and Mysterio
That's
part
the
of things.
point.
Yeah.
I think I said this when we talked about it very briefly. Dom has so much heat. He's got to have something to do at WrestleMania other than just be, yay, let's go Rhea.
Yeah.
He has to have something. And I think that was just the default thing to go back to.
That match could have been done away with. AJ versus LA Knight, again, good match. Didn't need to be on Mania.
I think it's one of those things too, though, where you fall into you have 2 days, and especially that first day to fill. They're gonna put a lot of mid card matches on.
Oh yeah, and
the Rhea match was amazing.
the Rhea match was fantastic. And I will say,
Wow, I can't believe I've disagreed with you guys this much. I thought that match was bad.
I loved that match.
Well, I like it more that
I just chalk it up to the fact that no matter what anybody says, you're contrary about it. So there we go.
I thought it was sloppy.
Well, Becky had 102 fever, and Rhea
Yes.
had a 2-hour panic attack before the show.
Right.
They were the opening match for this WrestleMania.
So real quick before we go, do we want to just do this as a down match to match as far as
we can.
okay? So we will start off. Night one begins with Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. I loved both of the intros. I will definitely say, I liked her reading from her
Motionless in
book,
White was
and then
amazing.
the ARG book opening up, and there she is. I thought that was pretty good.
That was cool.
Same thing. Motionless in White.
White.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I thought it was a very good opener.
Which Rhea had a little interview with her, and she's like, she talks about Motionless in White, the fact that she's loved him forever, the fact that as she was moving into the dark gothy mommy character that she is, at one point she was looking in the mirror and she's like, hey, I look like the lead singer of Motionless in White. And she does. So Rhea retains. I thought it was a good match. In fact, it's weird in the fact that she is one of 2 that retained their belts at this Mania.
This was a feel good WrestleMania for the most part because most of the faces that won championships.
Well, I think this was a statement WrestleMania. This was
100%.
This was a reset Mania.
Yeah,
This
this
is
was
Reset
them saying-
Mania.
Michael, my coworker, or my co-host, my coworker, my whatever you want to call him, right? Code podcaster. We were talking about it when we were watching Saturday. Every match except the last match was won by the either babyface or current fan favorite.
Yeah.
Because Rhea's not a babyface,
Right.
but she was definitely the
The
fan,
fan
favorite.
favorite.
during the
I
match.
there was a minute there where I thought Becky was getting booed.
Yeah.
It wasn't loud, but I think it
But
was
hey,
there.
Becky gets all the props. She had strep throat and 102-degree fever in that match, and she went out and still did it. So,
Right.
I commend them for that. Outside of, I loved the double electric chair spot where the electric chair is going to happen in the ring, and then they flip over the ropes and they hold through it, and then they do the electric chair on the floor. I thought that was great. Other than that match felt meh and dull for me, and I felt that, and I understand why she was sloppy, because if you're what 8 degrees over what you should be,
Right.
Yeah, you're not going to do that. From just an independent spot of that, and they were mentioning it. They mentioned that almost as often as they mentioned the temperature and the wind chill for Philadelphia.
that was getting
night.
49
obnoxious.
degrees
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
I didn't care that it was 58 degrees in Philly.
that's part of the reason why night one felt so bad, because I think that cold killed that crowd.
And I do want to say something too, real quick, before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
Did it feel like to any of y'all that night one, production wise, looked like an overhyped episode of Raw, and night 2 looked like WrestleMania? Because to me, watching night 1, I was like, this looks like a Raw. And then when night 2 rolls around, it just felt grander.
Like they kept it purposefully like low key compared to night 2. That was probably done on purpose, I would imagine, as well.
I can see the reasoning behind that, because a lot of the heavier matches are like, this WrestleMania is very like back heavy, like very much heavier on night 2, and so I can see the point of view.
It was
with
like that last year too, though. It was like last year's like main event for night 1 was great, and the whole show was,
And
up and down.
I'm not even talking about the matches.
Right.
I'm talking about the production value.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I know
talking
what you're
about
saying.
The stage, the ring, the ramp, everything just felt more like this is just a special episode of Raw on night 1 than night 2.
Contrarian Train continues. I didn't feel that way. I felt that the production value was the same. I think the storyline interest was far heavier on night 2, and part of that is because of the results of night 1.
Right, of course.
You're definitely not wrong with the story there, and that's why I say I not to take away from the matches, not
Right.
to take away from any of that. It just felt different to me, night 2.
What was the second match?
Okay, match 2 is the 6-man, my favorite type of match where multiple people are doing the same thing in a gigantic cycle.
Lots of
That's right.
spots.
I can curse on y'all's.
Yeah.
Thing.
Fuck
it was
shit,
It was
damn.
the 6-man clusterfuck.
Yes.
There was a lot of spots.
Yeah. Awesome Truth,
It was
DIY.
we got to get a lot of people in this WrestleMania. Come on.
Yeah.
Judgment Day, who goes in as the undisputed tag team champions.
Grayson Waller and
A-Town Down Under.
Don't ever say that in my presence. That is one of the dumbest.
Attention, A-Town Down Under.
That is one of the dumbest names
You've
for
got,
any.
you've got a new thing for the sound.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Don't ever-
Yeah, I've got to clip that
I
one
know there
tonight.
was like 2 sets of titles, but man, it's always like very deflating when they just like go up there without any resistance and get a title.
I loved the fact that they split the titles.
I do love that.
I love
Well,
the fact
we haven't
that
even listed out everyone who participated in this.
that's
we're
because
getting
they're
to
not
it.
important.
The Judgment Day? I hadn't mentioned them yet.
Not
The-
important.
You
know,
said the Judgment Day. You said the Judgment Day.
I thought.
Yeah, Judgment Day was in there. New Day was in there.
New Catch
DIY was
Republic.
in there, New
I
Catch
like
Republic.
that my boy Peter England got to be in WrestleMania. I'm proud of him.
So Austin Theory and Grayson Waller get the SmackDown titles. They go up first, grab them, and then just got absolutely annihilated.
Yeah.
And were not part of the match from
Right.
that point on.
Right.
That's how you do it instead of going, oh, you get to walk to the back. No, we're just going to beat the shit out of you, and you're just not going to be able to get the belts
In theory,
again.
they could have gone up and gotten the other
Yeah.
titles, but they just got destroyed.
Well, I mean, as soon as he pulled the titles down, he just like looked like he was completely like shock and awe of himself, and just stood there on the top of the ladder for the rest of the 2 minutes he was standing there.
There was a great spot where the ladder gets broke.
And God bless that referee for trying to save Damian Priest.
The ref tries to stop Priest from climbing the ladder,
Mm-hmm.
and Priest turns around and looks at the ref and gives her this what the hell are you doing? Why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Look.
And
as
then
he-
Miz climbs up the other side, and the ladder just starts
ladder
buckling. It's like,
almost
oh God, no.
Did you guys catch the spot where they were on the outside with the ladder, and for just a brief second, you saw like 4 referees holding the bottom of the ladders, and then they adjusted the camera up real quick so you couldn't see it, but we'd already seen it.
What do you think this is? Dynamite? Anyway.
So we get a feel good moment here of R-Truth and the Miz winning. Also,
We get R-Truth also thinking that this is a tag match.
And
Right.
then
He
the
gets the
hot
hot
tag.
That was a
tag
great
hot
moment.
tag.
and does the 5
actually.
moves of doom.
That was a
Yes.
good.
He has very few
moment.
like face things, but Mrs. Hot Tag is fantastic.
yes.
It is. So we got that match.
Yep.
That I like the result, but there.
I'm a fan of Awesome Truth winning. Again, this again falls in that, like you said a minute ago, this is a fan favorite Mania. So we've got a fan favorite, and we got a fan favorite.
Yeah. Next match is Rey Mysterio Andrade. Was going to be Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, and should have been Rey Mysterio and Carlito, but whatever. Versus
Right.
Santino Escobar. I wish it.
Santino Escobar.
I wish it had been
Somebody
Santino.
give Santos the Cobra.
The Cobra.
Yeah. Santos Escobar
So was
and
that, there was
Dominic
that one
Mysterio.
really cool like slingshot spot, and then that's
Joaquin
the match.
Wilde is going to die
He's going
one
to
day.
die at some point.
That slingshot
Who's
spot
going to
is
die
dangerous.
first, him or Montez Ford?
That's true.
What if
Ford.
they were in the same match?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Murder, suicide. I don't know who
Yeah.
the murderer is.
That match was very boring.
I loved that. What is wrong with me? Shit.
No. I agree with you.
Okay.
I liked this match. I don't think it was a Mania.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a Mania required match. This could have been on SmackDown on Friday, and would have been just as good. But I did enjoy the match.
The
I love
fans
that
were not behind Andrade. They were not there for him at all.
I fully expected Andrade to turn on Ray.
Yeah.
I think they were too.
Yeah.
And it
Just
didn't happen.
Yeah.
I expected Carlito to be in this slot and Carlito to turn on Ray.
We're approaching Sting numbers on the amount of time Ray has been turned on. So, I felt that. That being said, Andre's work on Jesus Christ, I'm dropping syllables and adding them other places everywhere on this one. Andrade was stellar. I can't wait to see him back in a place, back in a place with a booker who gives a damn about him,
Yes.
guiding him on his story. I can't wait for that. Santos Escobar is a revelation. I loved his work in this. Dominic is so far and away from where he was a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
Oh, yeah.
Like his work in the ring is so
He
much better.
constantly like leaps forward.
With Judgment Day losing
Yeah.
the belts,
Yes.
with Rhea retaining, and with what we'll talk about with Priest later, I feel like Judgment Day should end within
Soon.
the next few months.
Yeah.
Like when the draft hits, let's draft Finn and JD to SmackDown
Right.
so that we can end Judgment Day. Or let's draft Dominic over there as well. Break him off of Rhea. Break Priest out. Let Priest be the
Do you think
the
they might do an
spoiler that
angle
he
where
is.
like Finn turns on Priest because he's jealous or something like that?
I think-
I would like to see
I
that.
think-
to get a match out of that.
If they do, I think this is my call. They're going to build up until SummerSlam, and that's when they're going to
They
pop
teased
it.
a lot of that.
That's when they're going to pop it.
I hate that I don't hate Damian Priest anymore.
Same.
It really makes me mad.
Same, because I didn't like him at all in NXT.
Like
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a really good thing, especially if you have Priest staying as the baby face, right? And through no fault of his own, he is talking about being the champion. And every time he says it, you just see Finn in the background getting more and more and more.
Dude, I watched the
green
the
with
press
him
conference
anymore.
after Mania. I don't know if you saw that.
I
but
did. I
It
watched
was
the whole thing.
amazing.
Yeah.
I watched
Yes.
all of it too.
He's articulate.
Yeah,
He's
oh, yeah.
able to change gears.
Dude, he sat there and gave Seth Rollins like props for making the championship worth something.
He reminds me, not just because of his last finishing move, but he reminds me so much of Scott Hall as a man well over 6'4",
Right.
with the ability to actually work
Yes.
and actually tell a story with
And a
his
mind-
wrestling.
and a mind for the business.
and a voice and promo to match with it.
Yeah,
like
he's jumped
I like
up there.
bisexual Undertaker.
I mean, you know what? You're not wrong.
Or was it Dominatrix Undertaker or whatever Drew said about him the night
sure.
after. So yeah, that was pretty
And
good.
the next match.
The next match was Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, which I hated this match.
The consensus, I believe, is that this was not a good match.
If I ever hear
Jay?
This was the second most disappointing match from night
okay.
one end of WrestleMania.
We have
if
consensus.
I
have
hear
consensus.
anybody say, "Oh, AEW is all nothing but super kicks," I want them to watch
This was literally
match.
a match of
It
just
was-
super kicks.
It was.
That's all that was in there.
Yeah.
Which sucks because like both of them have worked so hard
Right.
to like get above just being a tag team.
I think they were also built into the restraint of you guys have 10 minutes, go super kick each other.
You guys have 10 minutes, and also you've got 2 to 3 minutes tomorrow night,
Right.
Which we'll get into
Yeah,
that
yeah.
when we
I
get into
was
the main
so
event.
stoked for this story too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Same.
that hype video before
Right.
was amazing.
That hype video before this match was one of the best hype videos I have seen in a long time. With the whole like, I am my brother's keeper. We grew up
It had a
together.
good
We
build
played
up,
the
good
sports
build
together.
up,
We did
for
all
sure.
this together. And then when you end it with, I am not my brother's keeper. I think this also got deflated because Lil Wayne,
Yeah, that didn't help any.
I don't want to say rap because that's not what he was doing. I don't want to say sung because that's definitely not what he was
No,
doing.
he was making noises.
He brought out Jey Uso, and I feel like somebody in the back was like, "Oh, this is garbage,"
Right.
And they turned his mic off
Yeah.
because he followed Jay down the ramp.
Yeah.
and you could see he was still saying things,
Right.
but nothing was coming out.
Yeah.
I forgot where I saw it, but there was a GIF of Lil Wayne, and it was like, "Darling, what's wrong? You haven't even touched your Benadryl." Like, it was just like,
It was not good.
Yeah, the 10 minutes was basically no selling super kicks, which is like, come on, guys.
And you had to have of course, you had to have the moment of good is dumb.
right.
Right.
That was early in the match, yeah.
Well, that was the end.
Was it the end?
that was the end.
That was
That
almost
was-
the
that
Which
very
was-
sucks
end.
because Jay has not really done good as dumb very much.
Right.
Like,
Right.
He's
And all of a
mostly
sudden
been a
he's like-
smarter guy.
I forgive you. And then you get super kick, splash, kick out, super kick, splash, 1, 2, 3.
that works for a crowd in like Nashville,
Right.
Little Rock, and anywhere along
It's
the Bible
not
Belt.
for Philly.
Yeah.
Philadelphia is not going to support you on this.
They gave him the we're glad it's over clap.
Yeah, basically.
Is
Yeah.
what they
Yeah.
what they got at the end of that.
I like the result. I really don't
Yeah,
think
the
Jimmy is
result,
benefited from winning there. I do
No.
believe Jay benefits from, okay, I can put my brother behind me.
Sure.
Again, the babyface wins.
Yeah.
yeah.
We moved to the next match was the 6-woman match.
Yeah.
Jade, Bianca, and
Naomi.
That's
Naomi
another match that was under 10
versus
minutes.
Damage control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The entrances here,
Mhm.
especially for
Stellar.
for Jade, Bianca. And
Yeah, that
Naomi,
was
Yeah.
stellar.
That was stellar. Looked like $1 million on
Oh,
that
yeah.
entrance.
There
I
was
thought-
there was a note somewhere that they tried to mimic the X-Men with Jade being Storm, Bianca being Cyclops, and Naomi being Gambit. I don't get Gambit on
No.
Naomi because
Yeah.
she had that
giant hat.
that hat on, which
Right.
doesn't fit with
Right.
with Gambit. But again, like I think what I
thought-
liked about it is they came out combined,
Yes.
and they each had their own individual moment, and then they walk in combined.
I liked the match. I will say this though. Jade signed with WWE. Triple H makes the comment about how she hasn't been seen because we're having to basically train her how to wrestle. She wasn't done any favors in that other place, right?
Right.
What has she been doing? Because it's obviously she hasn't been training to wrestle.
Right.
I
This
don't
match
know.
was the same as her AEW matches.
Yeah.
And then her match on Raw this week was the same as all of her AEW matches.
Unfortunately,
So
I feel like
I'm kind
Jade
of lost.
I feel like Jade maybe just might not have like the wrestling acumen.
I don't think she does.
And I hate to say that because
she's
I like
got the look. She can talk. I
Yeah.
mean,
she's got the look, she's got the talk. When she does like her big moves, like that
Right.
looks good. She's
They
got the
look good.
athleticism.
Just make sure she starts the match with all finishers.
It's kind
That's
of
the way it is.
like she's very similar to Bianca Belair, where
Right.
she's got that physicality and everything like that. She has more of an imposing figure than Bianca Belair, but Bianca Belair started out as not super great at wrestling, and you could see like every single time she was in
so much better though.
every single time just when I was watching her in NXT, like
Same.
she just kept getting better.
Yeah.
And then
And
you just don't see that with Jade. Now, now most of the time, I will admit that like most of Jade's matches have been squash matches. So like,
And hey, look, to plug the Whiskey and Wrestling back catalog, we have made comments before that you could see growth in Jade. And then Jade plateaued
yeah.
and got no more growth.
Jade has become so. Ethan, just I'm not trying to single you out here, but I'm treat you as like the audience members that are listening don't have anything to do with wrestling or know what wrestling is. There are two
He's
different
gonna
kinds
treat
of
you like a child.
There are two different kinds of people that wrestle. There are wrestlers that wrestle matches and call spots and like have a script. And then there are celebrities that wrestle that are shown spots to do and bumps to do. Like, for example, that's what Logan Paul was at first. Or Paul Logan, or whatever his fucking name is. Logan Paul. That's what...
You don't have to correct yourself. He doesn't deserve... He doesn't, you know...
But the fact that he's a better wrestler than she is, and she's had way more time at it...
Bad Bunny is a better wrestler than Jade is.
Which is sad, because I want her to be good.
I want her to be good.
I want her to be good.
Like, I didn't like her at first, because, like, when she came out in AEW, like, that was a terrible introduction for her.
Right.
But, like, I kept wanting her. Like, every time I would watch her, I'd be like, come on, this has got to be the time where, like... And then she had, like... Who was that one? Like Sky Blue got a good match out of her. And I was just...
Maybe
gave me a little bit of hope, and it kept going to where it was the same thing.
It might be
over and over.
One of those things where
we're in WWE and it's the same thing.
She's only going to be as good as somebody who can carry her in a match.
Yeah.
So
far,
Jade, Bianca, and Naomi win.
Yeah.
You knew that.
I mean, yeah.
Interesting pin too.
Very, very quick shout out. We get the Wrestlemania once a yearly Bianca Belair hair whip.
Good.
Murders.
She hit Asuka with that, and it was like
Asuka selling that really
Asuka
bad.
was probably told her, hit me as hard as you fucking can.
Right.
Look, I watched a thing. Speaking of Asuka, like I watched a thing on her a few days ago where in Japan she created her own wrestling organization because of how women's wrestling was treated over there.
Yeah.
She booked herself to fight Minoru Suzuki, and she told him backstage, "Do not take it easy on me. Beat me up."
Yeah.
Right.
To the point where like cops were called. Because people were afraid that he had gone off script
Those
and
Joshi
was literally
wrestlers
beating her up.
beat the fuck out of each other.
Right.
Like, they do not care.
That one time, I can't remember who she was wrestling, but Chelsea Green was wrestling in Japan, and two wrestlers basically torpedoed a third wrestler into with a drop kick that would have killed any person sitting at this table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm at least glad that like all six of those, because I like all six of those women. I'm glad that they got some spotlight.
they got some spots and like
hey, we can do more than just the
Storyline,
women's
right?
championship
in 8 minutes.
Right.
I wish that I would have liked for them to have gotten more time,
Yeah.
but you know,
We then get Sami Zayn versus Gunther for the
Right.
Intercontinental title.
This was my most disappointing match of the entire weekend.
Okay.
And I like the result, but for a very personal reason, I hate this match.
I liked it.
And part of the reason I liked the match is the reason you hated it.
Yeah.
I liked this match a lot. I think that it should have been Chad Gable instead of Sami.
That's not the reason why I hate this match.
Oh no, that's I'm getting there.
No, okay.
I see from watching Raw, they are setting up. It looks like Sami versus Gable for a little extended thing, so that's kind of cool. I know the reason you hated it was the brainbuster and the turnbuckle.
I hate neck move. No, and I understand there's a history with that
spot.
Right.
I hate neck moves into the buckle. The buckle bomb, that brainbuster, that because you and I were sitting together when Takeshita hit that move on Ospreay,
really,
and it looked like he had fucked it completely up.
And I will say a couple of things on this move. Going back and watching it again,
He didn't hit the.
he didn't even hit the.
He didn't hit the
buckle.
turnbuckle.
Like it
He
was,
hit.
it
He
was
hit his.
well away.
It was in his thigh or inner leg area that he.
I
hit.
liked the story this match told. I'm cool with Sami. Sami works best to me as his underdog from the underground. So him beating Gunther, bravo. I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm all for the result.
Right.
Gunther brought super prestige back to that IC title.
Yes, he did.
I hope Sami continues.
Yeah,
and,
that would be
and
great.
Carries on.
and I
with it.
think whenever they give, because eventually he's going to win like a championship, like like the main
Right.
title of whatever,
Right, sure.
and he's going to bring like Gunther, like the dude's a fucking revelation. Like,
Oh, yeah.
just
By
like
far.
he is so fucking good. He's one of the best like big men
Yeah, in a long
in a
time.
very
Yeah.
long time.
Whatever championship he goes for next, it is going to be well deserved whenever he wins it.
Yeah.
So here's a quick question: Gunther Dragunov 3, next WrestleMania or 2 WrestleManias down the line?
2 down the line.
2 down the line.
And I
Okay.
say that because on Raw, we saw Dragunov show up. He's still the NXT champion. Though. I don't feel like they drop the title off of him and move him to a main roster this year in the draft. I feel like next year he comes up, and then you build him, Gunther. At that point, you've given Gunther time to challenge for the heavyweight title. Because I just don't see him getting. I don't see him getting one over on Cody.
No.
anytime
No,
soon.
no, nobody's gonna get over on
If
Cody
he-
But I could
anytime
see
soon.
him.
If they put him against Cody, he's not winning, and that's not what you
not at
use
all.
Right,
Gunther
right,
for.
right.
I could see him. I could see Priest becoming a face. Gunther going in on Priest, or Priest loses to X, and then Gunther gets it from them. In that time frame to set up for 3 being Dragunov Gunther, I could see that.
That would be really great
Yes.
if that's how that worked.
And then our main event of the night was The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody and Seth.
Yeah,
If Cody and Seth win, then there is nobody allowed at ringside. If Rock and Roman win, it is bloodline rules, which is basically anything goes,
which is what this match was.
which is what it had to be.
And
Right.
hey, this match proved that it needed to be 2 nights because otherwise The Rock would have been blown up,
Yes.
and he couldn't have interfered
Except-
in the match.
This match
later
was
in the day.
44 minutes, and
Yeah.
that did not include the
The
entrances.
15-minute
It was
entrances.
44 minutes
Yeah.
of wrestling.
It was
and Rock actually was taking hits.
Yeah.
He was part of it.
He would have been blown up. He couldn't have interfered later.
I paused.
He couldn't have done
I
it.
paused at the beginning. I'm like, I've got to go use the bathroom. I'm like, there's an hour and 10 minutes of this show left, and this is the
Like,
main event.
This kicked off. This match started at 9:30, and me
Right.
and Michael were watching it. We're like,
what the
what?
fuck?
I thought this match did exactly what it needed to
Yeah.
do, with
Yeah.
the exception of one thing, and it's one thing that I really hated in this match
Hmm.
was the whole Rock telling the referee,
I'll fire you.
"I'll fire you if you count." I'll
Yeah.
do this, I'll do
Yeah.
that. You can have him do that,
Yeah.
but a couple of weeks ago, Triple H made a comment that The Rock has no authority.
Right.
Well, I'll say a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, he
Right.
said that The Rock has no authority. I have the authority.
Right.
Well, as soon as Rock pulled that the first time, and you have the ref saying, "I'm sorry, Cody, I can't count," because there was a count out where Rock looks at the ref and goes, "If you fucking count, you're fired."
Yeah.
And then they beeped
Yeah.
him. It was
Yeah.
like 15 seconds late.
Yeah.
There was a spot where Cody was drug under the ropes in a guillotine that the ref was like, "I'm sorry, I can't do anything."
sorry, Cody.
And then Seth got kicked in the nuts.
Straight. Right in front of the ref.
After the second one of those, Triple H should have come down and basically told the ref, "Nah, you're safe."
Right.
So that this could go back to a normal match, because this was not supposed to be.
Right.
supposed to be.
It was a normal match.
Right. Right.
That said, I thought the match told the story it needed to tell. Cody and Roman win. They are the only heels.
The Rock and Roman.
The
win.
Rock and Roman. Yeah. They're the only heels that win night one. Or the only not fan favorites
Right.
win night
Yeah.
one. Which, of course, sets up the Overbookapalooza for night 2.
Yeah.
Which we will be going into, I guess, right?
Yeah. So I want to start not with the wrestling match that started night 2, but what started night 2 and Stephanie McMahon coming down.
Yes.
That of all the statements about the new era, I think that was the strongest because of who it was coming from.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the notion
It's
that
safe for her now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can come out.
Yeah, and the notion that also just the fact that she's back in some capacity, she has to be back.
It's like the classic movie trope scene where they open a door and like sunlight floods into the room, and the little kid or the whatever's in there that's like ducking away from the sun, and they're like, "Come on, buddy, you're safe. You can come out."
Yeah, her coming out also like sends a message of whose side she's on when it comes, because she was named in the allegations.
I did see a really cool video too that showed Triple H and Gorilla.
Right.
When she was out there. Doing
Oh yeah, that was very.
And when she did I said, "Philadelphia, are you ready?" Like he's standing back there and he just gets this like shit-eating grin on his
Yeah.
face.
Oh yeah, he talked about
go.
he talked about seeing her on the press conference, and he's like, "Man, I'll tell you
Also,
what."
something interesting, just going back real quick, that Triple H has been when he's announced and he's coming out, he's Paul Triple H Levesque.
Yes.
He does not come out as just Triple H.
Right.
So, like, when I saw that, I was like, oh wow, this is
the Paul Levesque era.
yeah, they're trying to really change things.
Yeah,
Right.
that thesis statement started by one Paul Heyman at the I was about to say the WWE honors, not the
Yeah,
WWE
the
Hall of Fame.
When we get done with this WrestleMania talk, I'm gonna just
But
briefly.
those people
briefly
that say
talk-
that ECW died in a bankruptcy court in 2001, you can suck my fucking dick. And it's like, I was like,
or not, we can
Have
just
you
talk about it now.
have you seen the reaction of Orton?
Oh,
All of
yeah.
that is so great. Oh my god, he was like, that was real human emotion.
I just like the fact that Paul took out the leather trench coat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And the
that was great.
big-ass
I'm like,
cell
what's
phone
in
and
that
everything.
cardboard box?
And Stephanie was wearing the
The
ECW
hat.
Kango.
Yeah.
that was great.
Yeah, that was like a good 20-minute promo from
Yeah.
Paul Heyman.
Yes.
Yeah. So wrestling matches start with Roddy Piper's music, followed by a New Orleans second line.
Yeah.
What is going on?
Those
people?
entrances, I loved both of them, but
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Shit
I
was
like
crazy.
now understanding now about the Philadelphia Mummers and the thing like that. Okay, I get that there, but I was like, this is WrestleMania New Orleans.
Right.
Like it
Yeah.
just is. What the fuck? Easily for me, this was the match that sold the most and paid off the most.
I love
Yeah.
this match.
This is how you open up a
This is
WrestleMania
Drew
night.
McIntyre live tweeting during this match where he is leaned up against the wall and he tweets out, "Bored at work, lol."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then 17 minutes later, fuck.
Yeah.
Who tweets his own tweet?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because Drew wins.
Yep.
Drew beats Seth.
That match started with a finisher. It started
Yes.
SmackDown
Yeah.
Bring
Yeah.
the
As
Pain,
soon
like
as
it
the
just did.
bell rang, Seth got Claymored.
Yeah.
The bell
Like-
rang and then the bell rang.
This was a great match.
Story wise, 100%.
Loved the story. Drew wins, but he couldn't get over Punk being on commentary.
Yeah, he kept going out there during the match and
Yeah,
fucking with him.
which results in Punk attacking him.
Takes off the brace.
Takes off the brace, wraps it around his good hand,
Yeah.
and just
Waylays
Drew
him.
out. And then Priest's music hit.
And
Yeah.
everybody just blows the
Yes,
roof off
comes
that's already
flying
off.
down.
That was the first time, like I messaged y'all and go, it's
Yep.
like, here we go.
Yeah.
Cashes in, hops in the ring, hits
Yep.
a south of heaven. 1, 2, 3. Damian Priest
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he smacked him with the
is
suitcase
now-
first.
Yeah.
is now your champ.
Right.
And almost lost it in the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, man, everything about that is just like the serendipity of everything.
What's
coming
great is
together
like
was so
Priest
good.
wins, gets the title, and then there's just like the shot of like Punk smiling at Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, he sits on the announcer's table cross-legged.
Right.
Is smiling. The
And
whole
Yeah.
Drew is just in the ring like, what the hell
Yeah.
just happened?
Hey, Drew's title reign, it had no bad matches.
Yeah.
Right.
He put over younger talent.
That's true.
Yeah, it didn't go. It didn't,
Didn't
drag on.
It didn't drag on.
He got what he wanted. He won the belt
he won the belt.
in front of a live crowd.
in front of a live crowd.
He even got like Seth as he won. He was walking down and he looked at him and said, "You fucking deserve it."
Yeah, like Seth, like when Seth rolls out of the ring, points at Drew, and like gives him his flowers.
Yeah, Seth might not even know
Seth's
that
gonna
cash.
Be, I think Seth's gonna be gone for a little bit. Too.
Yeah,
He might.
Seth,
He
I think
earned
he
it.
was
Good
like
God.
he was the MVP of
Right.
like every
WrestleMania.
fucking like of
Of
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania itself, yeah.
If
Yeah.
he was involved, he was the MVP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We had the Pride versus the Final Testament. So that's Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits
Street Profits,
with Karrion Kross
Cross,
and Authors of Pain.
Authors of Pain.
Yeah.
This was it doesn't exist anymore, but this was a Shotgun Saturday Night
Yeah.
match.
Yeah.
This didn't even really deserve to
It was
be
a
on
weird one to
Raw.
have. I'm glad that that like all of those people, because I like all of those
Right.
people.
Right.
Had Bubba Ray Dudley as a special
Yeah,
guest referee.
That was
That was
strange.
how they like. It was a
They
weird
tied
ass
it in.
match.
I did like when Cross got in Bubba's face and he reaches into his pocket and pulls out the taped up glasses.
And he backs away.
Shit's
and
about to
Cross
go
just walks
down.
away. then Bubba directing the Street Profits on how to do the what's up.
Right.
So runner-up for MVP of WrestleMania, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg on commentary
This had
was
Snoop
great.
Dogg on commentary and
Hey,
Bubba
just-
Ray Dudley as the referee.
That commentary only
Yeah.
works in one match, and I don't even
Right.
necessarily mean this match.
Right.
Have Snoop there to
Right.
commentate one match,
Yeah.
and then just disappear into the
Yeah.
fog.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was perfect.
It was
Fall
really
this
good.
smoke.
This was my pleasant surprise because I thought this is just going to be it's just going to be a Hoss beatdown the whole
Yeah.
time. And when the minute Bubba showed up, I was like, this might get special, and
Right.
that was a very good match. And I
This
enjoyed it.
match to me was again. I'm not going to take anything away from the match. The
Right.
match was good.
Right.
It
Just didn't belong
need to
on
be here.
WrestleMania. Yeah.
and a lot of it has to do with like these
They
two
were in
factions
Philly.
haven't
I mean,
been built.
Right.
Like they and like they just haven't been built into
Right.
anything whatsoever. Like so.
After that, LA Knight versus AJ Styles. LA Knight wins.
LA Knight gave some old woman a car,
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
a Slim Jim car.
Slim Jim car.
the Slim Jim car.
He
She's
won
got
the
to
Slim
drive
Jim-
around with
he
meat
won the-
sticks
He
everywhere.
won the Slim Jim meat stick battle
Yeah.
royal a few months ago.
What the fuck?
Two things about this match.
Fucking wrestling.
For the content of this match, this felt like an like when I say old school NWA, I don't mean anything involving fucking Melancholy and Infinite Sadness. I'm talking about like early 90s, late 80s. Let's just do something simple with moves that hurt, and let's make them hurt more. I loved the concrete spot with the backdrop onto LA Knight. That reminded me of like wrestling's past. I was happy about that. The second thing is they could really have stopped saying meat stick 2 minutes in, and it still would have been too many mentions of the word meat stick.
You say NWA, I agree with you, but also lower card, mid card NWA.
I thought the match was good. Again, same thing. Why is it here?
Yeah.
Because they
Logan-
need spots filled.
Well, that, and I also feel that if you want to keep the momentum for LA Knight, he has to have a win at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
also, Triple H wanting to put all the guys on the roster
Sure.
on the show.
Like I don't get me wrong.
Right.
I get why they're
right,
there.
right.
They don't need to be there.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
I mean, there's also a reason why you have to have certain matches like
You gotta
that
have
because
Yeah.
it was.
I will
when I
say
was
this.
watching it, I felt like it was a cool down match. That's what I felt like.
It was filler with people of caliber,
Right.
Not like the first couple of manias that had like squat.
Right.
So there is that.
Right.
We have the U.S. title next: Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton. I loved the psychology of this match. I loved Orton and KO just being like, "Hey, you want to kick his ass?"
Yeah.
Right.
And they were like, "Yeah, sure." There's a spot where Logan shoves KO into Randy, and Randy goes to hit him, and then KO's like, whoa, he shoved me. And Logan's like, come on. And Randy goes, he shoved you? And Kevin's like, yeah. And he goes, okay. And he walked over there and beat up Logan Paul some more.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I
Yeah.
like the part where KO and Randy are standing in the ring, and Kevin looks at Randy and goes, because Logan Paul's like laid out on the ground at this point, and he just goes, so we ready to do this? And Randy goes, he just shrugs and goes, yeah. And they start like doing the collarbone lock up fist. The ending of this match shocked me. Logan retains.
Yeah.
It did for me. It didn't. He's too good, and he's the biggest thing they've got outside of wrestling to bring eyes into wrestling.
This is why, but part of me is why I said I didn't think he would retain here, because how much longer is he going to be in and around the WWE? So that was the first part. Although thinking about it a little more with his brother's quote unquote fight with Tyson that's coming up. Okay, that's going to be eyes on the belt because he's going to be part of the media of that. So sure.
I would argue that's less a WWE and even TKO move and an Endeavor move.
Yeah.
Let us not forget that all of this is now owned by a talent agency
Yeah.
and a gigantic highfalutin
And
talent
this
agency
is
in
also
Hollywood.
a good
Yeah.
spot to put in. So this is the first time WWE has done a branded mat.
I didn't mind it as much as I thought I
didn't
would.
either.
Yeah.
It was very minimalist. It was like I think
was just
two
a-
color.
No, it wasn't even that. It was a gray outline.
Yeah,
There you go.
it wasn't as bad as the logo that I've
It's
seen.
not.
There
It's
was
not
a-
AAA. I'll tell you
There was
that.
a fantastic meme video that I saw where people superimposed the bright, colorful Prime logo under all of these epic wrestling moments. it was under when the screw job happened.
Nice.
It was under Undertaker when he retired. It was under, like all of these. Wow, these are when you think wrestling. If you're as old as we are, these are the moments that pop in your head.
Yeah.
like Hogan body slams Andre onto the Prime logo.
Well, they had ad logos almost throughout the whole show with C4 in the corner.
Yeah.
like throughout
They had
almost
C4,
the
they
whole
had
show.
Dude
And it's because
the luchador match on night one was sponsored by Aqua Fresca.
yeah, and it doesn't surprise me because if you watch a UFC show, like
Everything's branded.
single thing,
Well,
the time in the corner
Yes.
is branded.
Yeah, by Modelo, which
Yeah.
gave me the greatest call in the history of the UFC when Masvidal knocked out Askren, and they go "Fight Clock" by Modelo. It's like, yeah, that was great.
Every single fucking thing. So like, of course, if they're gonna like do all of that, of course they're gonna bring it in. I hate it, but like, what are you gonna fucking do about it? Like, it's so. To me, it's dystopian. To be honest, but like,
when it truly gets dystopian.
no, it's starting out as dystopian because that's how it fucking
When
starts.
they put it
like,
on the
It hits
apron,
dystopian when you have Cody Rhodes sponsored by Dude Wipes.
when you have like
The
a
wrestlers are sponsored.
when you have the apron.
it's not going to be that. It's going to be like
when you
that
have the
soon.
apron screen through a whole match have a logo on it throughout the whole match. I'm not cool with that.
It's going to be funny when Gunther is sponsored by Condom Depot,
Yeah.
which is a deep UFC.
Moving on.
After this, we've got Bailey versus Io Sky.
I loved
Bailey,
it.
Bailey wins.
That
Bailey
was the
gets
match
like
where
a-
I knew it was going to be good,
Yeah.
and then it was good.
Yes.
I was like, "This is very
It
good."
should be. Both of those are very
match.
good women.
Yeah,
I like the build up that they did with this.
Yeah.
Shout out to the former champion. This one, Io proved that she needs to be on the big stage.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
her performance was
100%.
fantastic.
I hate how they treated her run.
WWE has a problem with Asian
Yes,
women's
by far.
champions. I was gonna say just champions, but I don't think an Asian man has ever even been champion.
Nope.
Yeah, they're really like if you look at every single time that Asuka gets the title, I get so
Right.
With the exception of
disappointed.
NXT.
Yeah,
Right.
that one time in NXT.
Right.
Outside of that, like they just don't know how to book.
You're
them,
correct.
I
100%.
guess.
100%.
But I thought this match was great.
It
I'm
was
glad
good.
Bailey won. Her face. I've enjoyed her face turn. I've enjoyed her basically look. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Right.
I like that organic turn. Right?
I like that she's been a heel for so long, and it's like, okay, you get to be a face again. Please.
During,
do
her
during
this.
entrance
the,
was really cool,
during the
too.
press
Yeah.
conference, she's like, I didn't know what was going to happen when I went out there because I didn't know if people were going to boo me or what.
I did like her entrance. She comes in dressed as. It almost gave me Farrah.
It gave me
from-
ISIS vibes.
Well, it was
Yeah.
ISIS, but it almost gave me like Farrah from Overwatch vibes. She comes out on the shoulders of 4 dudes.
Yeah.
And then goes down and does her thing. I thought
If
this
instead
match
of
was
like hitting her wrestling moves, if she had like jumped in the sky with a rocket
Shot
pack
rocket
and
launchers
destroyed
at
her with a rocket launcher, multiple, yeah, that would have been even better.
great.
I guess
then-
that's what happens in that game.
And yeah,
I don't know.
with
yeah.
that her character specifically.
Yeah, I
And
needed
then,
to explain that to you so you know the reference. you know.
main event:
Uh-huh.
Cody Rhodes
Yes.
versus Roman Reigns.
Yes.
Bloodline rules match.
Yep.
Meh. No, I'm kidding.
Can Cody finish his story?
Yeah.
The first chapter.
I am. This was an overbooked nightmare,
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
but the overbooking wasn't rampant through the match.
Right. Right.
It didn't start until the end.
The
and
very
once
end,
it
yeah.
started, it did not overstay its welcome.
Yeah.
Like you
It
had
happened, and then there was still a little bit of time to where it actually made it feel like Cody
Yeah.
won this himself.
You have the spot. Jimmy comes down and saves Roman the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jay immediately comes out,
Right.
spears them off the ramp
Mm-hmm.
through a set of tables.
Which I think is why that match was so subdued on night one to kind of lull you into this and to make that
Yeah.
spot. Again, a lot of night one if it suffered from anything specifically, it was setting up things for night 2.
Yeah.
So you have that. Then you have Solo gets involved. Cena comes
Cena
down.
comes
Well,
out.
Solo gets involved, hits him with a spike, 2 count.
And then
Roman then Roman Solo hit him with a fucking
The spike
spear
spear.
spike combo,
Kick
2
out.
count. At this point, it's overbooked.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then
There's one thing that I really liked in this though. Solo yelling at Roman to
Yeah.
cover him, and Roman yelling back at Solo. I know.
Right. Right.
I
yeah.
really liked that.
Right. That was really
There were
good.
so many little things in this match
Cena
that were
comes
so
down.
good.
Yeah. Cena comes down, drops Solo. AA's Roman. Then Rock comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock gets Cena away.
Mm-hmm.
Seth comes out.
Yeah.
to
And
stop-
The
Shield
shield
gear.
music in the shield gear,
the shield music hits, and me
which
and
is
Michael,
such a good
Yeah.
storytelling thing.
Michael and I are looking at that like they didn't, did they? did they
Yeah,
talk,
I was-
Did
I
they
was
talk
waiting-
to AEW? Like
no. First of all, no one would have talked to Tony. It's like
Yeah.
Mox. It's Triple H.
right.
He mocks us.
I'll meet you. We'll call you Dean Mox, and you can come out and do some Shield stuff.
So shield music hits. Seth comes out of the crowd with it into the ring,
Right.
and Roman flattens him
Right.
Yeah.
with a chair.
Well, there's a point where he could choose between Cody
And
and
Seth.
Seth.
That's coming up. But from a production snafu on that, they shot the wrong ramp.
Yeah.
And they couldn't get the cameras over to
Right.
shoot the actual ramp he was
Right.
coming out of.
Right.
Because Rock runs off Cena, and then Rock bottoms Cody.
Yeah.
You know, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Seth is coming out to stop Rock. Seth gets flattened by Roman. Roman's hate for Seth and the Shield as a whole
Right.
overrode his I gotta retain my title,
Right.
which lets Cody get the win.
We're missing one thing. Right before the chair shot to Seth, it's Cody on his like hands and knees. Rock is like standing above him with the Mama Rhodes belt, waiting for him to get up, and then you just hear gong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The Undertaker.
We completely forgot
Yeah.
who ran off the Rock.
I didn't either, but
didn't-
I didn't want to get in front of the train that you were just fucking destroying. us
Completely
with.
forgot that.
So the lights all go out, and in Michael Cole's greatest call in the history of Michael Cole, the lights come on. The Undertaker's standing there.
No,
and
Mark Calloway.
Mark Calloway.
no,
That
it's
was
fucking
not
no.
the
It's the
Undertaker.
fucking. He said the Undertaker cometh was the Undertaker, and then Michael Cole just goes, Jesus Christ!
Yeah, because the Rock gets choke slammed, then the lights go out, and then Undertaker teleported the Rock to hell.
Yeah, everybody in the ring, like everybody that was there, they were just all teleported.
I saw there was a meme. It was like two people like really close together in the dark, and it was like Solo and the Undertaker under the ring through the whole match.
So, you have Seth
Hey,
laid
so
out.
how's Rikishi? How's your dad?
How's your dad?
Thing? Yeah.
He's still burnt BSK.
There you go.
Cody wins.
Yep.
Cody hits 3 crossroads.
And as
He did
they're
that
counting
earlier-
the 3 count,
Yeah.
He did that
Michael
earlier
Cole
in the
goes,
match,
"Finish,"
too.
with every hit. He goes, "Finish the story." Like
Yeah.
Michael Cole is actually really good when he doesn't have
Yeah.
Vince McMahon in his
Yeah.
fucking ear every
Samantha
second.
Irvin.
I would argue
That was great.
Yeah, Samantha
Goes-
Irvin also another
yeah.
MVP for the whole week.
Oh,
yeah.
Samantha Irvin is
when she
great.
calls, and new. Like you can hear the emotion.
Well, there's
in her
footage of
as
her.
She is,
Yeah.
she's
Of her,
crying.
Yeah.
like she is like holding back tears
Right.
to
Yeah.
call
Right.
to call this, and it is
Right.
so good.
Yeah.
Sammy, KO, Jay,
Mm-hmm.
John Cena, Randy
Yeah.
Orton.
Randy, they all hit the ring. They
Right.
pick Cody up on the shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
Seth,
They help Seth. Yeah, I was sorry. you
Seth
were about to-
is on the floor.
Yeah.
Right. Seth was supposed to be in the ring too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You see during this celebration, while everybody else is still celebrating, you see KO and
think it
Jay, Sammy hop out of the ring, and they help Seth up. And
I know
they're-
Cena like helped him into the ring. Like,
and they're walking kind. Yeah, because Seth was sitting on the ropes.
yeah.
They're celebrating. As Seth is leaving, Cody leans through the rope, shakes his hand because Seth told him, storyline, right? Seth told him, I'll be your shield.
Right.
He kind of was.
Right.
Then Cody does something that
I didn't see coming.
I didn't see coming.
I don't think anybody saw that coming.
He cuts his promo about how it's
Fans
so-
didn't react to it
so
very well
great
either. They shouldn't
have
have.
this belt.
Well, the first half of it.
That's
Yeah.
what
But
we're getting
there's-
to.
I'm only here because of two people.
Yeah.
Triple H.
Well, no.
No, he called the
That
first-
buried
no,
that
he-
lead. Yeah,
Well,
'cause
yeah.
He calls out Bruce Pritchard.
Bruce
and
Pritchard.
Triple H. He's going to be mad at me for calling him out, but come down here.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce Pritchard and Triple H come down.
Yeah. Bruce walks out, and immediately the fans are like,
The temperature changed.
Yeah.
Bruce Pritchard gets in the ring.
They actually started showing the temperature in Philadelphia again, like they did on night one.
It's like
They-
the fans are like, Cody,
it
you're
was
lucky
Philadelphia.
you won.
They should just be glad that like they didn't start throwing batteries.
Yes.
Or the chairs that are bolted to the...
So they continue celebrating a little bit. They end up in the back. There's a picture that's around of the backstage stuff, and it's got all of those people plus Amanda Huber, -1, Ricky Starks, Dustin, QT Marshall, Aaron Solo.
Yeah, Dustin and Ricky Starks were in
They
like
were
a
in
booth.
the
The
skybox,
skybox, yeah.
In the corner, they had Cody went over there to Nick Khan.
Khan.
That was sitting over there in the corner.
So overall, Mania was good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Even the matches that weren't great were still at least enjoyable.
Let me let you in on like a little personal experience I had with the first night of WrestleMania.
Go for it.
So they know, but I don't think you do. So unlike back in the day when it was on the network where you could like watch it immediately, it would stream again immediately afterwards. They don't do that anymore. Except for night 2. They did it with fucking night 2, but they didn't do it with night 1.
I think because they knew so much traffic would go to that. Like even people who'd already seen it live would watch it again.
Well, what happens is there's a 4-hour delay between when the show ends and the show starts streaming again after it ends. And that's because they want people to watch the fucking press conference also. So I watched the first 2 hours of WrestleMania night 1 in Spanish. And here's the thing. There are two bonuses to that. One, that was 2 hours less of listening to Pat McAfee. And two, the Rhea Ripley match being covered by Spanish announcers was fucking fantastic.
Ah, damn.
Because they were just like, Mommy, Mommy, Mommy! Mommy, Mommy, Mommy! Like the whole time. Anytime she was doing anything, they're like, Mommy's gonna win, Mommy!
So I was thinking of this. Let me ask this question. Do you think that this match where Cody won, do you think that was worth him losing at the last WrestleMania?
No.
Okay.
I feel like them not letting him win last year was a huge mistake. But it was a Vince thing.
Yeah.
Different people were in charge.
The fact that they nearly fucked it up this time without knowing the behind the scenes, because this
Right.
could have been the plan the whole time.
Yeah.
Let's be real, right? Without knowing the behind the scenes, at least what we can see, what we hear in the dirt sheet, that kind of stuff. The fact they almost fucked it up again.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This while not to the level of, it really gives that Daniel Bryan feel from 30.
Yeah.
The crowd was behind Cody to the point of, if he does not win in Philadelphia, let's remember where we are.
Right.
Okay?
Right. Wrestling country.
If Cody would have lost,
Yeah.
there would have been bloodshed.
Yeah.
And I
Cars
don't
would have
say
gotten
that
turned over.
hyperbolically.
They burn down the city when they win a championship.
Yeah, like
like
if Roman would have won through some kind of bullshit,
yeah.
there would have been a body count.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you
I
know,
also I do
and
want to
not
give
a
it
sexy body count.
I do want to give it to Roman too, because like he's like you can like his booking, the way they booked him hasn't been great. I think if they would have booked him more as he's just running through people like nobody can get over him, instead of every single match was, at first it was Jay and then it was Jimmy and then it was Solo coming out and interfering. If it wasn't every single, Like
Every
it would be
match.
better,
Right.
but like
Right.
the character that he portrayed, I really loved. I just hated like the way they booked all his matches were annoying.
I have given my criticism for Roman Reigns. I've with the booking and everything,
and the
that's
fact
been
that
done.
he's just not there. Like he's
Not
he's
there.
a
Right.
part-time person holding the belt for so long.
Hogan had the belt for about 100 days or so more than him at this
Right.
point,
Right.
and defended the belt 54 times.
Right. Right.
This was back in the days when it was still basically the
Every
big four
30
still,
days.
Yeah.
right? You didn't have a 30-day pay-per-view.
Right.
Hogan did not show up on the
Regular
main television
TV.
stuff. If he
Unless
did,
it
he
was
cut a
Saturday
promo.
Night Live. Well, not main event. Yeah.
Yeah, he cut a promo.
original. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? He wasn't going to wrestle.
Right.
He still defended 54 times.
Right.
Roman defended the belt 23 times.
Yeah.
Right.
That's horrible,
Yeah.
especially considering he is holding both of your titles
Yeah.
for a huge.
The fact
portion
that you
of
had to like create a new title.
you had to
so
create
that-
a new title because of it, right?
Yeah.
So that was a problem.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have discussed before the whole: was Roman Reigns a chicken shit heel,
Mm-hmm.
or was he "I'll do anything to retain my belt" heel?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a chicken shit. You think he's the otherwise. His wrestling style, his moveset, his body type, all of that doesn't lean himself to being that chicken shit guy.
Yeah.
That's the Miz. That's not Roman. The fact that he couldn't win a match without some kind of interference, some kind of anything, becomes a problem.
I wanted to say
Yeah.
this real quick. In hindsight, reading the room, going back to The Rock just for a split second, it makes even less sense if they were going to like initially do that. When he comes out Monday and asks Cody, "Can I hold the title for a minute?" The Rock's not going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? What the actual fuck?
The Rock on Monday night gave me serious, okay, Pop's got to go away for a while vibe.
And then he tried to put himself over as a face when the
The Rock
fans
must go now. His home planet needs him.
when the fans start booing
Oh no,
him.
that means the Rock spaceship crashed on the way there.
Yeah.
When,
He did.
when the
He did.
fans start booing him, he goes, "I know you're upset. The Rock's leaving. I'm upset too. Shut the fuck up, Dwight."
Yeah, like,
Just as bad as Pat McAfee going, "Duh, it's our leader."
you're
called
so
him
mad you called
Dwight.
him Dwight.
Yeah,
So
Dwayne.
Nope.
I am curious what the item that he gave Cody was. Like this MacGuffin is gonna bother me for a while on what it was. I'm pretty sure, or I feel pretty strongly about his whole, don't break the Rock's heart again. I feel strongly that's in telling Cody, don't leave the WWE again.
Yeah.
I liked the exchange that Cody gave back of you are my boss, but I'm the champion, which makes me your champion. I really like that exchange.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I did love the "this is awkward" chant.
Yeah, it was. It was awkward to watch.
Thank you, the Raw after WrestleMania crowd, because you're the best crowd in the world.
I'll let you hold my title if you let me hold your fake title.
Right.
I think that The Rock gave him one of those little twisty wire things that the little puzzle things where you gotta like move it a
You
different
gotta
way.
figure it out.
I think it was a piece of the necklace.
Yeah, I think it was NOIE beats.
Yeah.
I've heard that. I've heard like serious things, right? I've heard that one. I've heard that it was a watch. Because apparently Cody and Seth and Roman and Rock went and got matching Rolexes. So I've heard that it was a watch. I have heard that was Dusty's Hall of Fame ring. I have heard that kind of stuff. I've also heard.
Why the fuck would The Rock have that though? Like,
I don't know. I don't know, but
did he
that's something I heard.
I want to see a movie of The Rock sneaking into Mama Rhodes' house
and stealing the ring.
stealing that.
Well,
Like the Rock dressed
No, that's
The
not
Rock-
enough. Rock
The
with a
Rock-
shovel going to Virgil Runnels' fucking gravesite and just digging away.
No, The Rock dressed up like the Repo Man,
yeah.
sneaking
go.
in the window in
Yeah.
the most campy 70s robber look ever.
I was thinking of he did the Mission Impossible drop down,
Drop
but he's too fucking heavy and the rope breaks.
Yeah.
Smacks into the ground.
Alarms going off everywhere.
You want to cry? Watch Cody's press conference where like he talks about the watch he's wearing.
Yeah,
Jesus.
which they confirmed that was his dad's watch because of the serial
Jesus.
number.
Yeah, Nick
Is-
Khan and
So
Triple H.
Dusty pawned a Rolex to send Cody to acting school,
Mm-hmm.
and apparently Triple H, Bruce Pritchard,
And
was
Nick
part of it,
Khan,
and Nick
yeah.
Khan
Found it
found that Rolex
and got it
and
for him.
got it for Cody. That's pretty cool.
He
is
choked up
cool, yeah.
pretty good. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun
Mania.
times.
I liked also liked during that press conference when Paul Levesque came out there and cut his promo where the company was going and was quote unquote as real as he could be in kayfabe / not kayfabe. It's an interesting show to watch.
I will say one thing about the press conference. I keep handing Ethan his microphone back and then thinking something else. All right. This is something that kind of threw me off about the press conferences too. During all the press conferences, everybody was out of character. You were talking to
Yeah.
the person
For the
not-
most part, yeah. Yeah.
except Roman and Paul Heyman on night one.
Mm-hmm.
They were keeping kayfabe alive.
Yeah.
For I'm not sure why.
And let me say, God bless Chris Van Vliet for having to deal
Yeah.
with that. He's the only one that was victimized by that shit.
Because he asked a question to Paul.
Yeah.
Paul said all questions are supposed to go to the tribal chief Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
So Chris kind of sighs and says the question again to Roman, and Roman just goes, "Next question."
I was hoping Nick Hausman was going to be there,
Right.
and they made Punk go to that one. I need another one of the. I need more of that shit.
Yeah, that and
I'll start,
Brian
Nick.
Alvarez.
Roman Reigns also had like an emotional moment at the top of the rant when he was walking off
Where he
on
hugs
night
Paul.
2 where he hugs
Right.
Paul.
Because before Mania, Roman was in a press conference where it was Joe, not
Yeah.
Roman,
Yeah.
Right.
and said that he is still on chemotherapy. Like,
Yeah.
he is still
Right.
actively dealing with leukemia.
Right.
Yeah,
so-
he answered a press conference question where I can't remember which night it was, but they asked him about that, and to be honest, I think that they shouldn't, but like what's his fucking name that you don't like the
Pat
Pat
McAfee?
McAfee. He shouldn't have ever mentioned that. I don't think.
Right.
Yeah, it was night one, the Rock, Roman, Cody, and Seth fight.
Yeah, but
Pat
like
McAfee
they
mentioned
asked
that-
him, but somebody asked him a question about that, and he
Yeah.
was like, "Yeah, I pretty much have to take this medicine for the rest of my life. It doesn't,
Right.
affect me
Yeah.
negatively. I can still
Right.
do this, but I have
Right.
to take it." And I don't believe that he should have had to answer a question about that. To
Right,
be honest,
right,
I don't
right.
think that they should have.
That said, I
mentioned
think
that.
he handled it as
I mean,
professional would.
he handled
did
it as
handle it.
professionally
Like,
as it
I
was.
do want to
not,
pull the rose out of this shit in the fact that
Yeah.
he handled himself
Yeah.
fantastically
Oh, yeah.
throughout the entirety of the weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
it
sure.
was really cool hearing, on Raw, the whole crowd is chanting "Thank you, Roman."
Right. Of course.
Because again, love or hate how he was booked these
Mhm.
past,
Yeah.
year-ish. This is an iconic run that he's had.
Oh yeah, for sure.
for
For
sure.
sure.
yeah.
So
We've
like
come a
in
long
modern-
way from suffering succotash.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Time. So,
Yeah.
And he's got some he still has some of the best in ring trash talk. Like you
Oh,
watch him
yeah.
during the match and it's so fucking good.
I absolutely love the tribal chief trash talking that
Yeah.
happens
Mhm.
when he is that super confident.
Right.
It kind of plays in the character,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, he quits when he starts getting beat up.
Yeah.
and then
Right.
he has to have somebody come help him.
Mhm.
I think the best thing too was the Hall of Fame. Like him inducting Paul Heyman into
Yeah.
the Hall of Fame was great. That whole that was the best part of the Hall of
Yep.
Fame, of course.
And I didn't realize. So I watched a and y'all probably already know this because y'all remember more old stuff. But I watched a Wrestling with Regret tonight. Today did an old NWA show because I always wondered why the fuck is Paul Heyman with Roman Reigns? Is because he
He was
Samoa
the
SWAT team.
he was-
Yeah.
SWAT team.
yeah
Yeah.
he was the
Their advocate
when he
for
was
them.
Paul
Dangerously.
Oh, and
Yeah.
also people wishing that Stone Cold had been there. I kind of wish Stone Cold had been there, but there's a
Right.
more personal reason in that match for The Undertaker because the two men that beat him at WrestleMania, One is Roman Reigns, and the other one is Paul
Redacted.
Heyman. I literally was going to say Paul Heyman's guy that I can't, and then you totally blew up my joke. God damn it!
Now,
I now know how it feels.
He mentioned his name during the Hall of Fame.
He mentions his name during the Hall
He
of
dropped
Fame.
it multiple times.
Yeah, that's because not as many people watch the Hall of Fame, so they thought it was okay.
Well,
it felt like though they were
Noticeable.
teasing that because they had the production truck thing that they showed like a few weeks ago.
yeah, during that spot.
There's something floating
But it
around
could be that, like, that was-
he's dealing with an illness, but that has since been countermanded by Stone Cold showing a picture of him hunting with his cat,
Yeah.
which was
Like,
It
adorable.
could be that he just doesn't want to go
Well,
out.
they were
Like,
also really light on the ECW alumni in the actual crowd. Like almost nobody, with the exception of and like RVD was there. Tommy Dreamer, you could see him there.
Oh,
but,
speaking of crowd, Julia was there.
no, yeah,
She's
Julia
officially
was
signed.
yeah.
So that's an interesting thing.
The strongest women's wrestling division ever only got stronger.
Yeah.
Bringing her in, I cannot fucking wait for those matches. Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Until she gets shuffled into Damage Control to join Asuka and Kairi Sane and Io Sky.
She doesn't
totally
look quite as Asian, so she might escape
she
that
might
fate.
She's Italian Japanese. She's 1/3 away from a full accent.
You know, I haven't been watching a whole lot of wrestling.
They're gonna pair it with Gunther.
except for
They gotta
pay-per-views.
restart ring comp.
You know what, y'all? I think I'm gonna go ahead and go. On that one.
I'm gonna keep pushing through
So
here.
that's the last.
So yeah,
So now this is unreleasable.
the fact that there's so many factions now. Vince hated factions.
Yeah.
There's so many factions now.
Yeah.
But one of them's more than one's probably going to be ending soon. But they can just make another one. You know, just build another one up.
Allow me to capstone. WrestleMania was pretty good.
Okay.
You hand him all of the microphones and see what happens. No, okay. Well, then in that case, thank you to Mr. Jason Holder. Thank you for stopping by tonight for this wonderful rest stop. And passengers, thank you for stopping by on this rest stop as well. If you'd like to leave feedback, that is always travelers on the omnibus at gmail.com. Again, that is travelers, 1L on the omnibus at gmail.com. As always, you can catch us on Spotify, Apple, YouTube Music, and Amazon. Thank you for the rest stop tonight, and goodbye.